Hi, everybody. I want to say hi to all my new friends that I'm meeting in the blogging world because I know that there's been new people that have been starting to follow my blog, and I want to give you an idea of who I am. Why are you reading about Joyful Art? Um, I am writing a blog. I've been writing this blog since last March of 2010, and I'm writing a blog about living a creative life. Now, why do I know anything about that? That's what I want to talk to you about. I trained as an audiologist years ago from the University of Denver, my master's degree. I worked for 10 years, and then I quit and I started to study painting with the support of my husband and my family, who realized that I needed to create. I was going to make a lot less money than I was as an audiologist, but I needed to follow my passion and create. So I started to learn how to paint. Just to back up, I played the violin really my whole life, and I think that had a lot to do with my creative background. I still love the violin. I don't play as much as I'd like. I really want to start getting into that again, but it did have a big influence on me in my life of being creative. So last March, I started a blog talking about how I lead a creative life. And I basically am a person that has to create. I have to make things. It's either painting, fabric, trying to think of new jewelry ideas. I'm writing a vegetarian cookbook. I've been thinking about writing a children's book. I just always am thinking of ideas of things that I can make or paint or knit, etc., etc. So that's why I write about living creative life. My entire 24/7 is thinking about things that I can make besides taking care of my family, which is my most important thing. So I have a shop on my blog where I sell some of my prints, and these prints are called G clays. And a G clay is basically a laser printed archival ink. Archival means it will last hopefully forever. You can archive it. Prints that are made in a very, very high fine art quality. I have a person outside of Philadelphia that does them for me. And if I do a watercolor, he can print them so they almost look exactly like the original. But they're very, very finely made. Those pieces I sell in my blog art gallery shop. And I sell some smaller art pieces and art paintings, watercolor paintings on my Etsy shop. Etsy is an online boutique that, for those of you who don't know, that specializes in handmade items, which is perfect for me. So I do sell some small pieces on Etsy. I'll show you one of them. This is a little watercolor that I have done. I matted it in purple, and it's some purple flowers that I did. I also sell cards that I have of my artwork and some of my photos. They're blank. This is a little painting that I did, a little watercolor. And these cards, you can actually open them up and they're blank. I have to get used to my camera here. And they come with an envelope, so I think they're cool. And I have lots of different styles. I also started to get into jewelry a little bit, where I worked with a couple of jewelers. One line that I have is some silver jewelry, and this is an example of one that I had made using a digital photo transfer method. And what it is it takes one of my pieces. This is a butterfly painting. Let me try to make it so it's stationary. It's a watercolor of a butterfly. That is, I do a digital photograph of it, and it is applied to, this is actually pewter because the silver prices went up so high. We started to use for the actual frame pewter. It's a digital image that's transferred through a chemical process on the metal, so it's actually infused on the metal. It's not something that peels off. It's actually put on the metal, and it's covered with a substance. It has a little cute little bead, glass bead on the bottom, and it has a sterling silver necklace. So I have several necklaces that showcase my art, which I think is also a pretty cool idea. Here's another one. This is a rectangle, and this is of a painting that I did this year called Breath of Spring. It's a watercolor, and it has a cultured pearl. Now I also have some brass pieces that are a little bit less expensive because brass is less expensive. They're a little bit lighter, and the pieces that I have are lockets, and here's one. This one I think is an 18-inch chain, and you can see that it's actually a little painting of mine on the front, and you can open it up and actually put a picture in it. I'm going to be getting a whole new supply in of lockets in different shapes besides the round. I'll get some oval, and I also have some cuffs with my paintings ordered to be coming on my site. Okay, I also have like a really big love affair with fabric. I really love fabric. And I learned how to knit when I was 8 years old from my sister, and I made my sweater. I'm always, every day, working either with knitting or sewing or something. I just find it very soothing. People who love fabric have what we call a stash, which means we collect fabric, we collect yarn, and it's almost like a palette of a painter. It's like our paints. So I've been doing some different things with fabrics. One thing I did yesterday, actually, is I took a lot of my stash, and I also have some beads, and I made this fabric beaded necklace that is for a little girl. And it's made from strips of fabric you can see in the top. You tie it, and there's little wooden beads inside that you can feel if you see the actual necklace, and they look like little gumdrops, and they're tied with ribbons. I have lace, I have different beads. Everything is handmade. I totally made this by hand, and I just thought it was a really cute idea for a little girl. So I made that. I call it my bubblegum necklace. Then I also started to make some fabric that have some of my paintings actually printed on the fabric. Just kind of crazy, but pretty cool. My first one I'm going to show you is a silk, and it's made from a painting called Hot Pink. And you can see that it's kind of a kaleidoscope look. I took the painting and I manipulated it so it came out like a kaleidoscope. I'm going to make a scarf with this. I'm hoping to work on that today, actually. And I'm going to put some Hannah purple silk on the bottom, on the side of it, and try to make it kind of ruffly. So that's my next project that I'm going to do. I also have some fabrics that are posted on Etsy already. This is a cotton one that is like a kaleidoscope pattern of a still life that I did. Believe it or not, this is a still life of a flower, but I manipulated it digitally so it came out looking like a kaleidoscope image. This is a yard of cotton fabric that can be used for a quilt. I can get it in fat quarters. I can get it in jersey, silk, canvas, different materials. So if you ever want a different kind of material, you can just email me and I can order something. This is another painting that I did, and I made this material so that it's actually upside down. Let me turn it around. So it's actually the painting, but it's like over and over again. It's a flower. And this is also in cotton, which I can make in other fabrics also. Okay, so that's who I am, and I welcome you to my blog, and I will have other videos. I have other videos up. I do art history videos. You can subscribe to them on iTunes. I'm going to be soon being in an actual live store in Philadelphia selling my things. So please leave comments, read my blog, get to know me. I'd like to get to know you. Sit down with a cup of tea and read. And remember, try to lead a creative life. It's very soothing. Thank you.